My name is Mark van Grinsven and I am one of the product managers at Thirona. At Thirona, we are used to develop AI software to analyze chest images, such as chest X-ray and chest CT scans. We have two products on the market related to lung diseases. CAT4TB is a CE certified software that analyzes chest X-rays for the presence of tuberculosis. It computes a score between 0 and 100 and a heat map indicating where TB abnormalities may be located. This product has hundreds of installations in more than 45 countries worldwide. Of course, particularly in countries where tuberculosis has a high incidence. The product is marketed, sold, and supported by Delft Imaging, the other company in Thirolab. Often, Delft Imaging Systems sells CAT4TB together with digital X-ray units to support TB screening programs and clinics. Then we have LungQ, our analysis package for chest CT scans. LungQ is CE certified and FDA cleared. We usually do not sell LungQ directly, but we use the package, for example, to analyze chest CT scans in research and in pharmaceutical trials, or to predict if certain treatments will work in individual patients. Over 400 hospitals worldwide send CT scans to Thirona, where a team of analysts analyze the scans with LungQ and produce quantitative reports. So when the COVID-19 pandemic was ravaging the world in the beginning of 2020, we started to think if we could develop new products or add-ons to our existing products for X-ray and CT for the analysis of COVID-19. As we received numerous requests from our customers, we quickly decided that we should actually do this. I became the lead of CAT4COVID CT, the product for analyzing chest CT scans for COVID-19. Before that, I led the research and development of REDCAT, our product for retinal image analysis. As those activities slowed down during the first peak of the pandemic, mainly because much of retinal healthcare was on hold, I moved to chest CT to help and support the team over there. For Thirona, the question is not so much how to build a new AI system. After all, we have a whole team of deep learning engineers who know exactly how to do that, but more what do we want to build? What are the exact product specifications? What are we aiming for? How can we build exactly the product that the market needs? And what data do we have available to train a new system with? And as important, how do we show that the product does what it is intended to do? During this road, we had to consider the whole software development lifecycle to make sure we could not only deliver a solution, but also deliver a CE certified solution so it could also actually be used in clinical practice. This whole process we had to sped up as we didn't know how long the COVID-19 pandemic would actually last. And of course, we wanted to provide it to the clinic as soon as possible so it could be of value. It meant we had to start the CE process, the writing of the technical file, immediately. We were lucky that the new MDR, a new set of rules with many changes for companies like ours, was postponed by 1 year, also because of the pandemic. As the COVID-19 disease was still unknown, we had weekly meetings with clinicians, radiologists on what they would need in clinical practice. The CORAD scoring system was published by our Thirolab colleagues from the Radboud UMC and actually became the national guideline in the Netherlands on how to diagnose COVID-19. We decided to use CORADS as the basis for our CT software. By doing so, the output of the software would be something that radiologists would easily understand and could also directly translate into their daily practice. For CAT4COVID CT, we use the CT severity score, or in short, the CTSS, as the main output of the system. First, we identify the affected regions in each of the lobes of the CT scan. This affected area, computed as a percentage of lobe volume, is categorized into 5 severity categories by putting fixed thresholds on these percentages. These lower severity scores are analog to how radiologists score each lobe for COVID-19. By summarizing these lower severity scores, the CTSS is computed. Emphysema is a comorbidity with COVID-19 patients. With emphysema, lung tissue gets destroyed, and these patients can potentially have more problems with their respiratory system when they are also affected by COVID-19. Therefore, we also included an emphysema analysis in the CAT4COVID solution. This emphysema analysis was already developed at Thirona and part of the LungQ package. One of the most important steps to develop AI systems is to have good quality data. To gather this data, we partnered with several European hospitals, including a few Dutch ones. On a daily basis, we receive new X-rays and CT scans from patients suspected with COVID-19. All this data was anonymized, adhering to the GDPR requirements, and each image was provided with a label by a radiologist on how likely this patient had COVID-19. The analysts at Thirona tediously annotated all suspected areas in this data. These analysts normally analyze CT scans for COPD and asthma together with our LungQ software package. Within several weeks, we had already collected over hundreds of CT scans and X-ray images. The overall CAT4COVID CT system consists of several components, such as a lobe segmentation and affected area computation. Each of these components were developed in collaboration with TRLab. During the hazard and risk assessment, part of the CE certification process, potential harms were identified and risk mitigation measures were built into the software. These measures include, amongst others, a strict quality assessment of the input data and informative user feedback on errors. To validate the software, the performance of the software was compared to that of radiologists in several independent datasets. Additionally, the software markings and quantifications for the affected area were compared to delineations of human graders. Each of these analyses showed similar performance to that obtained by human observers. All software documentation and validation reports together form the technical file documentation of the software. This documentation is audited by a notified body to verify the safe and sound operation of the software. On the 9th of June 2020, both the X-ray and CT versions of the CAT4COVID received their CE certification as a Class 2E medical device. Both CAT4COVID solutions are made available for free in the fight against the pandemic and are already actively used in over 100 centers in over 40 different countries worldwide.